Hey everybody, I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA on Choice Tax Relief. One of the things we do at Choice Tax Relief is we help folks who have not filed several years of required tax returns. And one of the ways you know if the IRS thinks that you haven't filed a required tax return is if you receive a CP59 notice. Typically you'll receive this notice because the IRS has gotten wind that you've earned income reported on W-2s, 1099s, and other such forms, but it sees you didn't file a tax return for that year. Nicholas Perez has an interesting question. He says they got a CP59 form, even though, according to Nicholas, they did not receive any 1099s or W-9s. And I think instead of W-9 there, Nicholas, you mean W-4. Now, I would say, Nicholas, in this situation, one of two things have happened. One, someone has filed a fraudulent or possibly erroneous 1099 or W-2 using your name and social security number. It's not good, not great. What I would recommend you do in that situation is pull your wage and income transcript, and if you see a 1099 or W-2 or some other tax form on there and you don't recognize it, you know, let's say it's a W-2 from the from Choice Tax Relief or ABC Corporation. You're like, I never worked for this company, I never heard of this company. Well, what I would say you should do is you should file a tax return for that year and indicate that you had zero income and put an explanation on the back saying, hey, I know that ABC Corporation issued me a W-2 for this year, but I never worked for them and I did not earn the income reported to me on that W-2. This tax return I'm submitting is true and correct. File that tax return. Once you do that, the IRS has a duty to investigate the situation. Yes, they must investigate it. They have a duty to investigate, but they don't have that duty to investigate until you file that tax return. So that's the first situation. There's an erroneous or fraudulent tax return filed with your name and social security number. Second situation here is you were issued a true 1099 or W-2 or some other tax form, but maybe you never received it in the mail, right? And you never received it for whatever reason. If this is the case, I'd again recommend you check your wage and income transcript for that year to see what's going on. And let's say you did some work for ABC Trucking or something during the year. Well, you may have never received a 1099 initially, but if it's there on your wage and income transcript, the IRS knows about it, and you should file that tax return. Of course, you can take deductions against a 1099 income, right, if it's 1099, not so much if it's W-2. But this kind of leads me to another point here, which is just because you didn't receive a tax document for some income you received doesn't mean you don't have to file your taxes for that year. You still have to file your tax return. On income that you received for your services you performed, whether or not you received a 1099 or W-2 for it anyway. Tax code says that you have to file a return, for all income received unless excluded by law. And whether or not you receive an actual tax form for that income has no bearing and does not allow you to abdicate the responsibility to file the return. Okay? So, Nicholas, those are my thoughts on this issue. I think there are many people in your situation who are getting more and more clients who, thought they had not received a tax document for a year, but they actually did. And this is how I would recommend you proceed. If you're out there and you received a CP59 notice, you automatically qualify for a free consultation with us here at Choice Tax Relief. Give us a call, 866-8000-TAX. That's 866-8000-829 to schedule your free consultation. Or you can go to choicetaxrelief.com, fill out the form on the homepage, and we will reach out to you. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.